Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of our Midweek Moment. It's great to have the opportunity to connect with you and share a couple of thoughts, which will hopefully be an encouragement to you. Near the end of the Gospel of John, we read about the crucifixion of Jesus. And then in chapter 20, we read about Mary Magdalene going to the tomb to find it empty. She runs back to the disciples and she tells them in verse 2, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him." This causes Peter and John to run to the tomb. They too find it empty. Then they leave, but Mary stays at the tomb. And the text tells us she is crying. She is alone. She is weeping. Jesus was gone. What the text says about Mary may describe exactly what you're thinking and feeling right now. It may be because of the pandemic, or it could be totally unrelated, and it's simply because of what's happening in your life or in the life of someone you love. For you, the reality is, like Mary, you feel alone. You are weeping. It could be actual tears or emotional or mental weeping. It's also real, and it seems as though Jesus is gone. And like Mary, it's unclear what to do, where to go, how to move forward. Maybe you long for this sense of his presence. You're looking for him. You desire for him to show up, to experience his love again. Or maybe you aren't sure what to think about Jesus. You are simply aware that you are in need of something, and you're curious as to what it means to discover and experience his love. When we look at Mary, we can begin to understand her sense of desperation for Jesus, and we can learn from her. She did not give up. After the two disciples left, she stayed. She remained in the place where she last knew Jesus to be. And then something amazing happens. Jesus shows up, but Mary does not realize it's Jesus at first. But then Jesus calls her by name, and she sees it is the Lord. He meets her right where she is, in her aloneness, in her tears, in her stillness, in her waiting. I know for me, it's not always easy to be constantly aware of God's presence. There are times God feels near and other times not so much. It's not something that seems as though I can control. But as I read this text, I felt God teaching me that I need to be patient, to return to where I know God is, to wait on the Lord. For me, it was a reminder to go to his word, to go to the scriptures and be reminded of his promises. The promise that the Lord has plans and they stand firm forever. The purpose of his heart will continue through all generations. That I am God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works which God prepared in advance for me to do. That like Mary, even when I am unsure and God seems far away, he is present, even if I don't recognize him. And I would suggest the same may be true for you as well. I want to encourage you. If things are good and God feels near, then rejoice and lean into his presence. Or if it feels like life is spinning out of control and you really want God to show up, that even if you don't recognize it, even when you cannot see it or feel it, God is with you. You are not alone. He promises that he will never leave you or forsake you. Mary went to the disciples and shared with them the good news. And it's the same good news that we still share today. Jesus is alive. He is present. And in him, we have hope. I pray you are encouraged with these words. May we all be aware of his presence, see where God is moving, and have the courage to join him there. Peace be with you.